tnwildlife.org is your direct link to the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Log on for the latest information about hunting, fishing, boating, or wildlife watching right here in our state. You can purchase a license to hunt, fish, or register your boat right online. Check it out today at tnwildlife.org. This week on Tennessee Outdoor Journal, we'll start off with sighting in a rifle.
To go out and shoot, you either need to have a range permit, a type 220 or 221.
A good way to catch those fish is throwing this 6XD.
Next up, tackle tip, crankbaits. And we'll finish off with Tellico Fishing.
Upstream from here, TWRA intensively manages the Tellico River to provide a unique trout fishing angling opportunity.
Tennessee Outdoor Journal is opening the cover and inviting you in for some outdoor tips, tricks, and behind-the-scenes look at the work being done by your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Let's turn the page. What kind of legacy will we leave when our days upon this earth are gone? Tell me who will carry on this work that we've begun, care enough to be the keeper of the dream. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Tennessee Outdoor Journal.
It's that time of year. Big guns are coming out, muzzleloaders coming out. Everybody needs to make sure that they've got their gun sighted in, but where do you do that? Well, TWRA has ranges across the state that you can go to and you can shoot. There are several TWRA firing ranges in Middle Tennessee. There's one down at Yanali WMA, there's one here at Cheatham Wildlife Management Area. Then we have one in Davidson County called Stones River Range, and then Montgomery County Shooting Complex in Montgomery County.
Range hot.
Now Cheatham WMA and Yanali are both Tier 1 ranges, meaning that there's no one on site manning the range, and to go out and shoot, you either need to have a range permit, a type 220 or 221, or a valid Tennessee hunting license. Stones River Range is a Tier 2 range, meaning you have to purchase a permit before you enter the facility.
You may move forward, you may lock, load, your firearm.
Once inside, range officers will control the line. They'll tell you when it's hot, when it's cold. There's a 200-yard range, there's 100-yard range, and there's even a pistol range. Montgomery County Shooting Complex requires a permit to be purchased before you can enter their range. You can find out more about this complex, which offers a variety of shooting options, at shoottn.org. Now before you go, you should know that all these ranges are not open every day. At Yanali, the days that they're open are Saturday and Sunday. Saturday 10 to sunset and Sunday 12 to sunset. That range is only open October through December. The range out at Cheatham WMA is open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. Out at Stones River Range, November through March, the days they're open are Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Sunday, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. April through October, they're open Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Yanali's range is exclusively for hunting rifles. It's a place where hunters can come out and sight that hunting rifle in just prior to the season or just prior to their hunt. Both Stones River Range and Cheatham have options for long guns and handguns. However, shotguns are prohibited at Stones River. So, if you plan on going hunting this year and you need to make sure your rifle is sighted in, go to tnwildlife.org, check out our Tennessee Hunting and Trapping Guide. Inside you'll find a list of TWRA firing ranges from all across the state. So find one close to you, go shoot, and have a great hunt.
Hey, I'm Mike Parsley with the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency. I wanted to share another tip with you today, and that tip is about crankbaits. And what I wanted to do is provide you with a couple of rules of thumb that you can go back to when you start throwing crankbaits. You know, when you start off early in the spring with cooler water, say in January, February, one of the best crankbaits that I've found that you can go to is a DT series from Rapala. So this is a DT10, and early in the year, this color, for whatever reason, this is what a lot of people go to, and this is one of your better baits that you can throw, especially if you're down on Tim's Ford or Center Hill or Dell Hollow. This is one of the better lures to throw. And the reason why they call it a DT10 is it's supposed to be a dives to 10 feet crankbait. So you'll want to make sure that you're throwing this bait in 10 feet or less. You want this bait always making contact with the bottom as a rule of thumb. And so if you're throwing this bait over 20 feet of water, that's not what this is for. This is to throw in 10 feet, you know, up to about 7 feet. That's what this is for. When you start getting on in the spring and it gets a little warmer, the fish are going to start moving up a little shallower, and that's when you'll start throwing this DT6. Of course, this is a Rapala DT6, and it's a dives to 6 feet bait. So this bait is good anywhere from 0 to 6 feet of water, and once again, it's that same color. This is an absolute killer bait when you get on Tim's Ford, Center Hill, Dell Hollow, any of those highland reservoirs. This is what you're going to want to be throwing in, I would say, February into March. So once that is going on, you can also start throwing what they call a lipless crankbait. This is a rattle trap type bait. It makes a lot of sound, and you throw that, and you can either yo-yo this up and down from the bottom of the lake up and just let it flutter back down, or you can actually just reel this bait in. This is a good cold water bait, so anytime that you're throwing those DTs, this is also a good option. Once the water starts warming up a little bit more, I normally start looking toward a very slow, wide wobbled crankbait, kind of like your DTs would be. They're a narrower wobbling, but this wigglewort, an old wigglewort, is an excellent crankbait, especially early in the year. And you very slowly reel these in and let them crawl over every rock. This bait is good from anywhere from 0 to about 6 feet, and these catch fish like nothing else early in the year. When the fish start getting even shallower, when you start throwing that DT6 and you know you're catching a lot of them, you can actually start throwing other crankbaits as well. This is a Bandit 200, which dives to about 6 feet as well. This bait is a good all year crankbait. You can throw this in the dead of summer and still catch them when they're 0 to 6 feet deep, like on Old Hickory. Old Hickory Lake is a shallow water fishery. You can throw this all summer long, catch fish all summer long on this same bait, especially that same color called root beer. My friend will kill me for letting that out. On Center Hill and Dell Hollow, even in the summer, there are fish shallow on those lakes, but you don't want to be throwing a 200 root beer Bandit. What you want to do is throw a 300, and this 300 will get down to about 8 feet when you're throwing it on 10-pound test line. But that's also a good bait to throw. It just goes a little deeper than the 200. Early in the spring, when fish are spawning, what you can do is throw a square bill crankbait. Square bills don't get very deep at all. 2 to 3 feet, but they have their purpose. These baits can crawl over almost any obstacle in the water, so long as you're reeling slowly and letting them do the work for you. So there's a reason for these short-lipped baits, and that's to get ultra shallow and fish around cover. So logs, wood, trees, this bait will come through it, whereas if you tried to throw a DT6 with that large bill or larger bill through it, this DT6 won't come through it as well as this square bill crankbait. When you get on into the summer and you hear people talk about ledge fishing, that's when the greater majority of fish get out deep on drops toward the river channel, especially when you're dealing with rivers like Old Hickory or Kentucky Lake, Lake Barkley and Pickwick. Lakes like that, they have ledges, and the fish set up on those river ledges just like they set up on the bank in the spring. Just in the summer they like to be a little deeper where the water's cooler. A good way to catch those fish is throwing this 6XD. 6XD, you can get down around 18 feet. A lot of the ledges that people fish on Kentucky Lake in years past have been anywhere from 15 to 20 feet deep. So this is a good bait to reach those ledges and to reach those fish. So a 6XD from Strike King is a good way to go about it. I hope I've explained that crankbaits have their purpose, and each crankbait has its niche. They all don't do the same thing. This 6XD and this square bill are both crankbaits, but you absolutely will not throw these in the same place. This is a shallow crankbait meant to run over wood and trees and rocks and things like that. A 6XD is made to skim and beat the bottom of a lake on a ledge that's 15 to 18 feet deep. So crankbaits have different purposes, and I hope I've explained that sufficiently today.
I'm Brad Miller, Elk Program Leader for TWRA. Did you know the North Cumberland Wildlife Management Area has almost 200,000 acres of public recreation opportunity? We have over 160 miles of off-highway vehicle trails that people can use. Make sure you have the appropriate permits. We have opportunities to view elk and other wildlife. You might see a bear, you might see lots of songbirds, and we have even some small ponds folks can come and fish in. For more information about North Cumberland Wildlife Management Area or to see a map of the area, go to tnwildlife.org.
Tellico is a small town in eastern Monroe County, and it's labeled the gateway to the Cherokee National Forest. The Cherokee National Forest is fairly remote, and there's limited resources once you enter the forest. So Tellico would be your last stop to procure supplies, and especially gasoline. You're not going to run into any gas stations once you get on the Forest Service Road 210. So make sure you top off the tank and get any necessities you might need for your day of fishing. Hi, I'm Travis Scott with Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. We just left Tellico Plains on Highway 165, also known as the Cherahela Skyway. We've been traveling along the Tellico River. We're about to take a turn on the Forest Service Road 210, which will take us up to 20 miles into the Cherokee National Forest, all along the Tellico River and the trout fisheries that it provides. I just wanted to remind folks that Tellico River Road, Forest Service Road 210, is very narrow. There's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, And at certain times of the year, it can be heavily traveled with all sorts of vehicles, including large RVs. So be aware when you get on this road to take your time and enjoy the beautiful scenery. There's plenty of pull-offs to get off the road. Be sure your tires are completely off the paved surface. We're 4/10 of a mile along Forest Service Road 210. This is the entrance to the Tellico Ranger Station. TWRA partners with the USDA Forest Service to manage the fisheries and the wildlife here on the South Cherokee. The Forest Service maintains all the campgrounds, access areas, the road. They're a great source of information about the forest, and this would be where you would need to come to find information about the Forest Service and their management and their campgrounds. There are numerous campgrounds along the Tellico River corridor. Some are free, some are pay. Most are first come, first served. Generally, they have a paved or a gravel parking area, a fire pit, and a picnic table. There's usually restrooms available. There's not any water. There is a dump station and fresh water at the North River checking station available to campers. But be sure and check with the Forest Service if you have specific questions regarding camping in the Tellico River corridor. This is where it all starts. We're here at the confluence of Turkey Creek and Tellico River. Upstream from here, TWRA intensively manages the Tellico River to provide a unique trout fishing angling opportunity. From March 1st through August 15th, the river is closed on Thursdays and Fridays to allow TWRA staff to stock the river heavily with trout. From here to the state line in North Carolina, there's over 13 miles of water with over 100 different stocking locations where we distribute trout. So Saturday morning, the river is full of fish ready for you to catch. So people ask, where do you stock trout? Well, we have over 100 locations where we stock those trout, but we're looking for locations that are close to the road and they'll be easy to get trout into. To cover that amount of ground, 13 miles of river, 100 stops, it takes quite a bit of time. Stocking days generally around 10 hours to get all of our stocking done. And so we want to make sure that we have easy access to the stream to stock, and then it makes it easy for the anglers as well. But after stocking, these fish are going to spread out along the river to other locations as well. Locally, we call this the kayak bridge, the kayak takeout. Right now, we're 5.2 miles along Forest Service Road 210. This bridge behind us is actually one of our stocking locations. So we've been stocking about a mile of river so far as we've moved up. Certain times of the year, the water flows are right. There'll be a number of people up here paddling the Tellico River. They don't necessarily interfere with your fishing. I've been here before as paddlers went by. As soon as they passed, I cast again and instantly caught a trout. If it is interfering with your fishing, don't be afraid to move further upstream. There's just a short section of the river that the paddlers will be at. Generally, above Cow Camp Bridge, we'll see later on, you won't run into any paddlers. You know, we all have to share the resource. The forest is here for all people to utilize how they want to utilize it. Some people like to paddle, some people like to fish, or some people come to hike. Some just want to see the scenery. But we can all get along and still enjoy what's here to offer in the Cherokee National Forest. We've been on Forest Service Road 210 for 6.1 miles. We've come to one of the most iconic scenes in the Cherokee National Forest, Bald River Falls. This is a very popular location, and oftentimes the road will be clogged with pedestrians, so be sure to pay attention as you travel through here. Bald River comes out of the Cherokee National Forest as part of the Bald River Wilderness. It's a tributary to Tellico River, and it has a nice wild trout population of both rainbow and brown, and at the headwaters it has our native brook trout. It's a good choice if you want to fish for some of our wild trout in the Tellico River corridor. We're now at the Baby Falls Day Use area. There's picnic tables. This is the first restroom facilities you'll find since we turned on the Tellico River Road 6.4 miles ago. There's several stocking locations right near here, plenty of parking, handicapped spaces. In addition, there's a beautiful Baby Falls. It's a good place to fish, and it's also a good place to watch the kayakers tempt fate going over the falls. So we're at Cow Camp Bridge. We're 7.1 miles from when we got on Forest Service Road 210. This is a stocking location, but it's also an important place to remember as we move into the summer season. Trout are cold water species and require water temperatures below 70 degrees. As we approach Memorial Day, the water temperature downstream of here exceeds 70 degrees. So once we reach Memorial Day, we will no longer stock below this point. So if you're coming to Tellico River in the summertime after Memorial Day, you would want to start your fishing upstream of here more than likely. That's where we'll be stocking. Downstream, there's still probably trout in the summer, but they're not going to be as receptive to your lures. We're at the junction of North River Road and Tellico River Road, Forest Service Road 210. We've been on the road for 7.6 miles. Here at North River is where our delayed harvest season begins, starting October 1st and lasts until the end of February. From this point upstream to the Tennessee-North Carolina state line, it's catch and release only from October 1st to the end of February. This area of the stream will be stocked for that delayed harvest, and anglers consistently report excellent catches this time of year. North River Road travels for over a dozen miles to reconnect with the Cherahela Skyway, which we left earlier. This is a gravel road that parallels North River for most of its distance. North River is a wild trout stream and has special regulations. It's got wild rainbows, wild brown trout, and then its headwaters wild brook trout. So it offers a different angling experience than the stock trout of Tellico River. Also on Tellico River upstream of here, you often will find wild rainbows and wild brown trout in addition to the trout we stock. We've traveled 10.5 miles along Forest Service Road 210 and we're at Panther Branch access area. There's plenty of parking here, a scenic bridge, and it's also one of our stocking locations. We actually get off the truck and carry fish down to this hole. So it's a good place to stop and have a picnic and catch a trout.
As you're traveling up National Forest Service Road 210, also known as the Tellico River Road, at mile 11.7, you'll arrive at the North River Check Station. Here at the check station, there are several amenities that are nice to have when you're this far in the wilderness, such as bathrooms, bear-proof garbage cans, potable water, a camper washout station, and an informational kiosk. Also available here is a wader wash station, which is maintained to help prevent the spread of aquatic nuisance species. The North River Check Station is a good place to stop as you start your adventure up the Tellico River. Located at mile 12 on the Tellico River Road, you'll find Dam Creek Campground, which offers primitive walk-in camping. Dam Creek is the first of 9 campgrounds that you'll encounter as you travel up Tellico River Road. Another benefit of staying at Dam Creek Campground is the Dam Creek Fishing Hole, which is directly across the street from the campground. It's an excellent place to start your fishing adventure on the upper Tellico River. Located at mile 13 on the River Road, you'll find Green Cove Store and Lodge. Here at Green Cove Store, you can not only purchase your fishing license, but you can also get any gear that you may need for your fishing adventure. They also are a full-service store that offers food, drinks, propane, and other camping commodities. They also offer room and board, which is the only place in the National Forest that you can actually get a hotel room. One of them being streamside rooms where you have direct access to the Tellico River. Located just up the road from Green Cove Angler and Lodge, you'll find Sourwood Campground. Sourwood is the only campground on Tellico River that is free. It has excellent camping sites right beside the river and offers easy access to fishing. Located just above Sourwood Campground, you'll find Sourwood Bridge. Sourwood Bridge serves as the lower boundary for our annual Tellico Kids Fishing Day, which we allow free fishing for kids 16 and under. Located at mile 13.8 on the Tellico River Road, you'll find Bald River Road. Bald River Road provides access to Green Cove Pond, Holly Flats Campground, and also the Bald River Trailhead, where you'll find wild trout stream fishing and a trail that'll lead you to the top of Bald River Falls. Located at mile 14.6, you'll find the Tellico Hatchery. The Tellico Hatchery serves as the headquarters for stocking operations on the Tellico River. During stocking season, the hatchery staff will make 120 individual stops throughout the stretch of the river to stock fish. fact about the Tellico River is that it receives the highest number of fish and the highest number of big fish of any stream in the state. Located right outside the gates of the Tellico Hatchery, you'll find the Moment of Freedom Pier. The Moment of Freedom Pier is designed to provide a true stream fishing experience for people that have mobility issues. Handicap parking is available in the parking lot of the Moment of Freedom Pier, as is wheelchair access to the river. While anybody is allowed to fish the Moment of Freedom Pier, we ask that you give priority to those with special needs and require the structure to access the river. Right above the hatchery at mile 14.8, you'll find the Tellico River Dam and Walk Bridge. The bridge serves as the upper boundary for our kids fishing today, and right above the dam is an excellent fishing hole. Another example of a campground on the upper Tellico River is Holder Cove. Holder Cove is located just feet off of the Tellico River and provides very easy access to wading and bank fishing. Holder Cove is accessible to both RV and tent camping. It provides nice level camping spots as well as picnic tables and fire pits. Another point of interest is Holder Cove Branch Falls, which is located a short walk directly across the road from Holder Cove Campground. We're at the State Line Campground, and it's named that for a very good reason. Right now we're standing on North Carolina-Tennessee State Line. There's ample camping spots up here, easy access to the river, but once you cross the bridge here at Rough Ridge, you will be in the state of North Carolina. So your Tennessee license will not apply. You'll be, at that point in time, need to abide by North Carolina fishing regulations.
We hope this information has been helpful as you plan your trip for the Tellico area. Be sure and visit our website at tnwildlife.org. And you can always buy your licenses and permits at gooutdoorstennessee.com. This has been a production of your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Tennessee Wildlife, it's what we do. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Tennessee Outdoor Journal. We'll see you next time. Tennessee Outdoor Journal is produced by your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Tell me who will carry on this work that we've begun. Care enough to be the keeper of the dream. This legacy